Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bryce. If you haven't met me already, welcome to Boondog. We're going to be diving in today to celebrate a little bit of the 25 match anniversary of King of the Ring. While it is easy to say it has not been 25 years, as there's been several gaps in between the King of the Ring tournaments, this will be the 25th match that takes place in the tournament history. So, that being said, today we're going to be diving into the top five King of the Ring winners. Now, just some quick housekeeping, real quick. This does not necessarily mean that this is based off of the gimmick longevity as well, as some people have retained the gimmick after winning the crown. In the case in point of Booker T or King Corbin, this is more so necessarily the tournament itself and the matches they had leading up to it before I get started. And this is based off of personal feelings. A lot of people may have grown up in a different era, so they may have different answers. If you do, I'd love to hear them. Definitely drop them in the comments. But let's get started. Coming in at number five, we've got Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, comes in at this spot from his win at the 2000 King of the Ring tournament. That being said, the tournament took place leading up to the pay-per-view itself, with round one and round two having matches throughout the show, and then having the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals take place at the pay-per-view. This is something I think is really cool because a lot of the modern day, actually all the modern day King of the Ring tournaments were only a 3-round system with the quarters, the semis, and the finals. That being said, that puts a lot of standout there because you got to look at what we had going on. When you take place and you look at who Kurt Angle faced, I mean, we're looking at JBL, Bubba Ray Dudley. That's just round one, round two. Chris Jericho to open up the pay-per-view in the quarterfinals. Crash Holly and Rikishi. Now, that being said, is not necessarily the strongest opponent for the finals. So that's what does hurt his spot here at the number five versus being a little bit higher up the chain in the tournament. So that being said, Kurt Angle did do something that a lot of the King of the Ring winners can't say they did and go through 5 different rounds to get to the championship or the crown, so per se, which is something that makes him stand out and puts him on this list. Coming in at number four, we've got Ken Shamrock picking up the win at the 1998 King of the Ring. This one, he was able to pick up a victory over 4 rounds. This took place with a win against Kama Mustafa, and then went on to beat Mark Henry, Jeff Jarrett, and in the finals, he beat The Rock. This is something that, again, I take a lot of credit in because, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is not necessarily about what makes them the greatest King of the Ring by what happened after. It's what took place during the pay-per-view or the course of the tournament. In this case, I do believe that being able to pick up 4 wins, especially in the span of that short time frame, is something that's really impressive and something to take note of, especially when your finals victory is against one of the greatest of all time in The Rock, and then picking up against future world champion Mark Henry, and then the future TNA executive who go on and win the TNA World Title and the NWA Championship, Jeff Jarrett, is pretty impressive in my opinion, and I think that's what gets him number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have Owen Hart here. This is no surprise because this is one of the most popular King of the Ring tournaments here for what happened. Like I said before, not judging off of what happens after this night, but from this night, this established a star that was already there and someone that people already appreciated. But this was the final tipping point that really put him in contention to go on to that SummerSlam the same year and challenge his brother for the World Championship. During the course of this tournament, he had 3 matches, the quarters, the semis, and the finals taking place at the pay-per-view, with the first round taking place on TV. He beat Doink the Clown in round 1, Tatanka in round 2, went on to face off the 1-2-3 Kid and beat him in round 3 of the semis. And then at the finals, he beat Razor Ramon. So something that's really important because, again, it shows the resilience that he had and that determination to just stay out of his brother's shadow and beat him for the world championship. Something that is a great story. And again, what gets him this spot, not necessarily is what took place after, is what took place, especially during that night. The show, like I said, he wants it, and he wanted it bad. Coming in number 2, this may surprise a lot of people. It's not number 1, but it is Stone Cold Steve Austin taking the spot here, as he is the King of the Ring winner of 1996. He went on to have 4 different matches that lead up to the finale, with the finals taking place at the pay-per-view, as well as the quarterfinals and the semifinals, with the initial round of 16 taking place over TV. During this tournament, he beat Bob Holly in a 10-minute match, went on to beat Savia Vega in an 8-minute and 10-second match, Mark Marrow in a 16-minute and 49-second match, and Jake the Snake Roberts in a 4-minute and 28-second finale. which would then birth the Austin 316 character, which that takes place during this pay per view. As a part of it is why I'm able to mention that from my qualifications because it did not take place after the pay per view. So making one of the most infamous character uh, bursts, as he was already existed beforehand as a Stone Cold character, but really just set off that final push he needed to become a megastar that he already was working on being. That was makes Stone Cold Steve Austin the number 2 pick. At the number 1 spot, it is Bret Hart in the 1993 King of the Ring tournament here. He went on to have a bye round in the first round, and then went into the pay per view and have one of the greatest performances in the single night of the King of the Ring tournament, beating Razor Ramon in 10 minutes and 25 seconds, Mr. Perfect in 18 minutes and 56 seconds, and Bam Bam Bigelow in 18 minutes and 11 seconds, having one of the greatest tournament just in general, the way he performed, the way that his ring psychology worked, it was something that I'm not going to even go to in description here because if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. If you have seen it, it's time to go back and rewatch it. As great as the performance it was, so if you get a chance, definitely check that out. But that is all I have for y'all today. When you get a chance, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Everybody's got a decision and everybody's got an opinion, and I'd love to hear it and talk about it in the comments. But most importantly, remember, have fun this weekend with King of the Ring, and let's enjoy and let's see who wins the 25th King of the Ring finale. Take care.